What's up, Print Hustlers? Bruce from Printavo, Simple Shop Management Software. We are here in Denver, Colorado. I'm freezing. It's about 25, 30 degrees out, but it was 60 to 70 yesterday. It's crazy. But love Colorado. We are here at a small print shop, visiting them. Gonna go ahead and take a look. Let's go see what's going on. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Bryce? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Welcome to the shop.
Thank you. This is a beautiful front room. Holy cow.
Yeah, just wanted to have little sample rooms. Come check out stuff. Conference area up there. Full offices.
This is great. I mean, it literally feels like a little retail spot.
One day, when this area starts getting a little more foot traffic, we'll maybe build out more of a retail spot. But yeah, for now it's just kind of.
So did you built this part out?
Yeah, we basically moved into an empty shell and built out the offices.
How many square feet is this facility?
This is about 6,000, 6,400, something like that. So
when did you start screen printing?
we started as a company in our owner's garage, Steven. He wasn't able to, he's working from home today.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
he started the shop in his garage probably 2010 or so. Then this is he moved into a location after his garage, and then a couple years ago moved into this bigger location.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we've been here in this spot coming up on 3 years. It's been a lot of fun. Give us a little more. It's about 3 times the space as our old shop, so it gives us a little more room to play around.
Yeah. You feel like it's a good amount of space now, or you feel a little crunch?
No, it's a good amount of space for what we need it now. Well, we could tour the shop.
Let's do it.
Come on back.
So the skate park out there is so cool.
Yeah, that's great. So it gives people a good opportunity to get out and ride around.
Hang out.
So this is our production facility. So we've got offices and stuff up front. All the good stuff happens back here. So we run basically 2 M&R autos. This is Wiley. He's our shipping, receiving.
What's up, Wiley?
Most of our jobs get done on the M&R Sportsman here. Little issue today, the gas company was fixing some gas stuff, had to shut off all the gas for most of the day, so we spent most of the day without our primary dryer, but it's kicking back on now.
Oh, really? So you said oh, good thing you had another one then.
Yeah, so we've got a press back there that doesn't rely on gas.
So is this for staging here? That you've got these are ready to go?
Totally. These are getting ready to be printed. We try to keep a clean side of the shop and an ink side of the shop, so that ink side isn't interacting with anything it's not supposed to quite yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you put these here on the magnet. How do you know? Are people just grabbing from the right? And
basically, our production manager, he'll set kind of the production schedule for the day as far as what we expect to print that day. So at that point, we're staging all the garments, making sure all the inks are ready, all the screens are where they need to be. So we're just kind of grabbing from the shelf at that point when things are ready to be staged.
very cool. I like this. Does this ever fill up? Or I guess you start putting them on carts from there.
Yeah, we start putting them on carts. During the busy season in the summer, it definitely fills up pretty quick. So we sometimes strategically have to keep things boxed up until there's room to get them out.
Oh, so the loading dock's over there in the front.
Yeah,
okay.
So loading, that's where whether somebody's coming to pick up or UPS is coming for shipping, everything goes out that door.
Got it. Makes sense. Very cool. So this dryer actually looks pretty new.
It is, it's a few years old now. This was the one really piece of equipment that wasn't going to fit in our old space. So once we moved into this space, we were able to get this guy in here. Everything else, both presses and that old dryer, were in our other space, which is about a third the size of this one. We use this manual press just mostly for ink swatching, color testing, making sure everything's going to look good on the garment before we actually set the job up.
So you do a lot of the samples on here to get it approved by the customer first, or?
Not approved by the customer. We rely on digital layouts and mock-ups for customer approval, and then ink. Todd is our production manager and ink manager. So he does all this swatching here to make sure that the ink is actually going to match the layout.
Oh, got it. So this is what
he's doing now. To make sure that it's going to look right before we set the job up.
What's up, Todd?
Hi.
Just checking out your work here.
Yeah, make everything in squares before we make it in a real design.
So it's just double checking that, or like you're creating the mixes to make sure this is exactly what
Yeah, so
is gonna match the.
sometimes customer calls out for a Pantone, we make sure that matches, or sometimes they kind of leave it up to us to pick the colors. Like in this case, it's more generic on their end, and they just let us do the work. And sometimes I go really far, and I might swatch 20 different blues to find the one I want, and everything looks good together. And
Is this for every job too?
Every job, yeah, pretty much everything that comes through the shop we test ahead of time. It minimizes the downtime on the press. Very few like color changes on press and that sort of thing. And we figure out whatever the fabric is ahead of time, and what base is going to work best, what's going to feel the best, what's going to look the best on all these different polyester blends and cotton, whatever.
Interesting. Do you record these on the order then later, or?
Yeah, so we attach like a Google print note, kind of a Google sheet print note to every order we do that Google stores for us in a mainframe somewhere. So if something is a reprint and it comes back through the shop, and we have a little pricing incentive for a customer they pay a little bit less if something's a reprint, because we already have everything dialed in from the ink to the way the press runs, to the dryer speed, and everything, so we don't have to really do all that research again.
So you record every little detail on the order like that?
Yeah, foolproof.
Very cool. So I noticed the inks are super organized too.
Thank you.
Is that you're doing, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Very cool. So what's the methodology of like each of the cans and?
Sure. I mean, like this is pretty much most of the Pantone like book that exists. So this order is just in numerical order from 1 to 9,000, with some of the grays and stuff at the end. And we have a completely separate water-based like discharge system that we've just recently been investing in. So that just kind of is existing over here. We use two or three different plastisol mixing systems. We have like a high opacity system we use, like a low cure system, stuff works really well on underbases, some stuff that's really soft. And I mix the inks pretty much until they feel like I want them to. So I might have like 10 different versions of one Pantone color.
Got it. So you do this for almost everyone, so you can pull off the shelf pretty easily then? Mm-hmm. So you have them all pre-mixed.
Yeah. Got it. And not only is it in order, but I memorize the entire thing. So.
The ink wizard, I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, this has maybe been about 4 years of work to get it where it is now.
And these are just paint, just standard paint cups?
Yeah, like Matthews paint cups or something. Yeah, I just like the uniformity of like every label is in the exact same place, and even the formula on the back is in the exact same place every time. And I think like when certain things are uniform, the rest of everything like around it kind of becomes uniform as well. Everything stays clean, except these floors. They don't wipe up very easy. It's okay. That's our other record down there.
He's ready to print. Put this guy to work.
I guess the last thing to show you, we built out the screen room, dark room back here. If you want to come take a look at that.
Are you focused heavily on the sales side?
Me personally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm more office side, sales, accounting, that kind of stuff. Todd is kind of overseeing the production aspects of things.
How's the sales been in Colorado area?
It's been good. I mean, the Denver area's just been growing so much the past handful of years. So just like lots of new businesses popping up, new restaurants, and all kinds of new business. So it's been a fun area to be a part of. And there's a handful of great print shops in Denver, and there's enough business to kind of sustain everybody, which really helps to cultivate more of a community aspect to like Denver screen printing, more so than just like everybody trying to fight over business and being super cutthroat and like competitive. So I think that's been awesome to see as well.
Interesting. Are you guys looking to hire more sales reps?
Yeah, honestly, one thing we've never focused that much on is sales and marketing. We've basically been able to grow by word of mouth. Mostly we've never actually had a dedicated salesperson, like an outside sales. It's all just been like inside sales and customer service, people coming to us and us helping them out.
Sure.
So obviously there's room for us to grow in that area and like actually trying to acquire new business, which is something we've never been that great at. So that's going to kind of be a focus of ours in the coming months and years as we're trying to get better at that.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's so many shops that are very similar, right? It's just kind of grown very organically, and then it seems like a similar 2-3 auto type size where they say, should we be looking into more outbound sales? Right. What does that look like? How do we pay? How do we commission? What are they exactly doing?
So that's, we're in the same boat there, trying to figure out that kind of stuff.
And so you got the just monitors just for like quality control?
Yeah, more or less. So that's just we keep our production notes in Google Docs, and we also have our digital layout. So that's so the person catching can make sure that size, location, ink color, everything looks the way it's supposed to look. This is kind of a last line of quality control. Design-wise, particularly with like distressed images, is that supposed to be in the design or is that lint in the screen?
Right.
So again, we try to keep dirty side of the shop over there, so all the dirty screens enter in the other side to get cleaned. So Dan, he's our screen tech.
Hey Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is Bruce.
Bruce.
And Steve.
Nice to meet you.
If you don't mind, I'll give them a little tour of your area back here. So we've got an area to clean out all the dirty screens in there, and clean, and dry here, and Dan works his magic over here, getting all those beautiful images onto the screens.
When did you guys decide to invest in direct-to-screen?
Once we moved into this space and had the room for it, it's been a couple of years now, Dan, that we've been doing direct-to-screen.
I believe you bought the machine like a couple weeks or months before I started, so a little over 3 years.
Yeah, so it's been good. It's been a time and space saver. We used to have just a massive filing drawer with all the transparencies and stuff. Being able to get rid of that was great.
Do you know how many screens you guys burn a day?
Like on average, do 20 to 30. Wintertime gets pretty slow around here, so in the summertime, anytime it's coming up on Pride weekend, like 50, 60.
I'll show you the screen cleaning area, but you've seen it. I don't want to get all your clothes all inky. Try to keep a good flow of dirty screens going in this way, clean screens coming out this way.
What do you feel like a lot more of the growth from the business is going to be? Like, is it certain industries, or is it areas of focus? Or?
Around here, the biggest industries are breweries, tech companies, restaurants are real big. We don't do a whole lot of like the spirit wear, school type of stuff. It's just kind of not our wheelhouse. Dispensaries, massive shirt orders. So we've seen a lot of growth in those areas.
So these boxes are super cool. I love how first of all, I love the design, but also a box of shirts. It's like very Virgil Abloh, very literal.
We try to keep it simple, overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Let you know what it is.
You feel like it's helped with branding and getting more customers that see it and come in?
Absolutely. I think it's a great kind of marketing tool. Like, you see these boxes around town. People love kind of taking pictures of them, putting them on social media when their orders arrive. We'll see them at events. People just, if a band is playing a show and they've got these boxes just under their merch table, or
right.
Any kind of marketplace. It's always fun to see those around town, and it is kind of a conversation piece. I think it helps our customers have that conversation with friends of theirs in the industry of like, oh, that's an awesome box. Where'd you get your shirts? Oh, right here. Obviously, a box of shirts from a small print shop.
Makes sense. And you guys work with a company around here or something to do it? Because you look like a pretty big print.
Yeah, we initially were using a company in Indiana to print all these boxes, and they're kind of in the process now of finding a local place to get them done, to save on some of those shipping costs and be a little more environmentally friendly.
Makes sense.
But the initial place that we found, I think we had actually found them by asking some of our t-shirt vendors, like, hey, who's printing your boxes? I don't know if we asked like Independent Trading or Bella Canvas or somebody like that. So that's initially how we found the box printers. But I think they're a lot of fun. Kind of our punk ass roots, so it's just like, here's your box of shirts.
All right, so I'm refilming this again with Dan because you're talking about something that was interesting that we've been talking about. The office is really charging mainly on the print cost and on the garment. And
Absolutely.
we visited a shop called Tonic Studios who's doing the exact same thing, mainly because they were like, anybody can bring a garment and buy a garment. So
Totally, it's kind of our philosophy. We're not really in the business of selling shirts. We're in the business of printing shirts. So yeah, our garment markup is pretty minimal, just to cover, ordering extra garments for test garments, the cost of like counting in, stacking the shirts, that kind of thing. So we use a pretty minimal markup, and then our actual costs are just factored into print costs, because that's really what we do here. So that's the calculations that we use, is price appropriately for what we're actually doing, which is printing shirts, and the garment markup's going to be pretty minimal.
So what's like the estimate markup on a 100 shirt order for garments?
So we basically use a flat rate, or a flat percentage. T-shirts, we have a 10% markup. Fleece, we have a 20% markup, just because it takes more time to count in, more space to store, that kind of stuff. So markup's a little bit higher on fleece, but it's not really quantity based. It's just 10% on t-shirts, 20% on hoodies and sweatshirts.
And then the print cost you were mentioning is gradual, it's not bracketed?
Yeah, absolutely. We got rid of kind of the grid-based system that seemed kind of antiquated, just these arbitrary quantity price breaks and color stuff. We kind of just created a formula that's fully custom. So 51 shirts is going to be a little bit lower price per piece than 50 shirts. It's just mixing's a little more simple, a little more fluid, and just makes more sense as a whole for us.
Very cool. And then so you plug it into your formula, and out you get, and you put in what? Like, what are the variables you enter into the formula?
Variables, we calculate the formula based on setup costs, based on, we rolled out free shipping this year. So basically we take all of our costs based on the time it takes to do these tasks, calculate basically to the minute how much we need to make based on how many minutes it's going to take to set up the screens, do any ink color changes if necessary, do any palette changes on the press if necessary, punch all those into a formula, and then it'll spit out the appropriate cost per piece, cost per print.
Interesting. And it'll amortize. So is that like shipping or pickup, yes or no, to kind of spread out the shipping costs?
We just try to make it simple, kind of based on average costs.
Okay.
So, once we rolled out kind of free shipping, we ship most of our pieces. There are still some who just want to come pick it up because they like coming to pick it up. That's their prerogative. But basically all the costs are rolled in to
Very cool.
what needs to happen.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, of course.